Howdy folks, and welcome to some prime Guilty Gear analysis from your friendly neighborhood God Star God. Today, I'm going to be exploring Guilty Gear's newest character that rounds out the first season of DLC, Testament, the Elegant Grim Reaper. These first impressions are coming from a couple hours of solo play in arcade and training mode, as well as about an hour or so of online matches in Floor 9. So far, Testament feels like a hybrid zoner and set play character. Someone who relies on setting up favorable situations with a wide toolset, but they can also play the keep-away game with some hard reads. I want to explore how they stack up to the rest of the DLC characters as far as approachability goes, explore their deceptively simple playstyles, and finally, I want to provide some initial thoughts on Testament's archetype and how they fit into the meta of Guilty Gear Strive. There are timestamps below for the different topics. Like and subscribe if you want to see more Guilty Gear content. And without further ado, let's jump into it. In the DLC roster, I feel like Testament is right in the middle as far as complexity and ease of use goes. I'm not going to comment on the power of them yet, because I think that they have a lot of quirks that need to be discovered before their game plan is complete. Think Happy Chaos before and after everyone learned how to reload cancel and play them as a beast zoner. Testament isn't as complex and obtuse to approach like Jacko or Happy Chaos are, but I feel like it will take a lot longer to get used to their toolset in comparison to Biken or Gold Lewis. Oddly enough, I feel like the evolution of where people think Testament's spot on the tier list will be similar to the evolution of how people looked at Nago or Gold Lewis at first. At the launch of Strive, most people felt that Nago needed a lot of buffs because they weren't understanding the strength of his conversion ability. They just thought he wasn't good because he was hard to move with and had a limit to his specials. Gold Lewis wasn't as good as Nago, but before the faultless defense changes, he was sleeper OP, and very few people recognized how strong he could be if he knocked you down. Everyone just assumed he was terrible because his tools needed time to work out their strengths. I foresee a lot of people giving up on Testament because they got hard punished for trying to zone without a game plan. I'm putting my money on the GG Lab Rats to find some wild setups that will either make Testament a very pesky knowledge check or an all-out monster in the mid-screen and corner. I think Testament is going to find a solid spot towards the top of the roster. Don't take that as a judgment of Testament's strengths or weaknesses. I'm talking about the bigger picture right now. The archetype of a zoner really suffers against some of the top tiers if they can't fully keep the zoning up until the round is over. Nagoriyuki can get zoned by Happy Chaos, but all he needs is one conversion to set up his win condition, while zoners just don't have that raw damage off of their best pokes to keep that same threat level throughout the match. Axel, Happy Chaos, and Testament all have ways to play that make you trade your health for movement or positioning, and this playstyle just isn't the best option when you look at the risk-reward. Simply put, I think that these zoners have the less consistent win condition compared to the strongest picks right now with Nagoriyuki, Leo, Ram, and even Zato. Don't count them out though, because zoning is still very effective and these characters can still win against the top tiers. Just that it can feel like an uphill battle when you're required to play perfect and the opponent just needs to capitalize on one mistake. Oh, she flies through the cloud, Testament is playing the Hanzo game in Guilty Gear. You have to know your
simple geometry,
and you really need to learn the angles of attack that you'll have with your long pokes. Unlike Axel, I don't think playing the preemptive zoning game by throwing out buttons to control big areas on the screen works well with Testament. Too many of your options can be punished to play degenerately by spamming your big buttons or specials. You really need to learn how to condition your opponent with Testament's toolset, and I feel like I'm playing a grappler sometimes with how I need to get into my opponent's head to get the set play running. I was playing rounds just working on what anti-airs need to be where, and it felt really weird to get used to running under someone's jump to land the 5S anti-air. I haven't played a character that really needed to focus on how they can convert their anti-air options, so it feels like a whole new world finding out what conversions I can get from each anti-air. Don't play this character as a strong Okizeme character unless you have them in the corner. Play this character as someone who wants to set up tricky situations with that Okizeme that allow you to punish them for thinking it's the right time for them to take their turn back. I've had good results early on by staggering my moves after knockdown, because the temptation to mash out against the pressure is unreal. Although, I'm just going to chalk that up to being new character anxiety. I think that trying to force stay in state will make your game plan too predictable until people discover the best ways to guarantee stay in state after a knockdown or wall break. The threat of teleport can be just as strong as putting buttons out, but this is also going to be matchup specific, so learn who you want to get close to and who you want to keep at a distance. Having the option to just change your spot on the screen makes it difficult for the enemy to commit to a punish, and if they do commit, you have Crow and your massive buttons to cover most angles they can approach from. This isn't infallible, but I think that Testament really shines once you embrace both archetypes they can play with, and get aggressive once you get a knockdown. Finally, if you can get your opponent into the corner, Testament may be a great character to learn not to break the wall. They have such a strong corner game they can play that's so much stronger than resetting to neutral in most circumstances. Learning some setups to keep them in the corner may become the OP strategy. Overall, I think Testament has a strong toolset that allows for a lot of player expression in how you want to pilot them. I currently think the best strategy for them long term will be playing them as a zoner in most matchups until you get a knockdown, then you can run in and start setting up your bag of tricks on them. I think as the game goes on, people will find punishes for Testament using Arbiter Sign or Unholy Diver in neutral, so the game plan will have to revolve around your Giant Normals and Grave Reaper until you can get that first hard knockdown. I think that this character has high potential out of the gate, and I can't wait to see the bonkers setups and combos that will develop throughout the game's life. Testament is another amazing example of ArcSys taking a problematic character and modernizing them without losing their full identity. While Testament may seem completely different without the traps, the core gameplay of setting up situations that makes them scramble into your offense is still alive and strong with the Elegant Grim Reaper. If you're still watching, do you think Testament knows how to pull a rabbit from their hat? Let me know in a comment below, and as always, stay groovy, folks.